All right, we are down to the final 8. We have 4 AFC teams, we got 4 NFC teams, but I'm going to tell you which 4 teams I think are going to get past this round and get into those championship games. Let's start the show. All right, number 4 on my list, I got the Bills, the Buffalo Bills. They're playing against the Chiefs this week, but I think the Bills are going to win this game. They have the better team overall. They're coming off the greatest offensive performance I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, there's not much better than perfect. No team has ever gone that long without a 4th down in a game. Literally no 4th downs, no turnovers. They didn't punt. There weren't any field goals. It was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. It was kind of like the 5 greatest rappers of all time. Dylon, 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 and Dylon.
Dylon, 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 and Dylon.
And that's because he spits hot fire, just like the Bills do. I've just never seen a team come out that hot. So that offense is one reason why I think they're going to take down the Chiefs. And then that Bills defense is nasty. They're the number 1 rated defense in the NFL. They put teams in a funk. I think they can stop pretty much anybody. And I think that includes Patrick Mahomes. Even in that game against the Steelers, the Chiefs started off slow. They let the Steelers kind of stay in the game in the beginning, and then they caught fire, scoring like 5 touchdowns in 10 minutes. But the thing is, I think Patrick Mahomes can be stopped a little bit, at least held down a little. And I think that might be enough for the Bills to kind of take advantage and get that edge and win this game. I think the Bills have the better offense right now at this very moment. They're hotter, more consistent. I think they have the better defense. Now, it's at Arrowhead, so it's at the Chiefs' house. But you know what? Both teams are used to the cold weather, so that shouldn't be an issue. And look at this image of Stephon Diggs last year, okay? This is a guy, when the Bills lost the AFC Championship to the Chiefs, this is a guy that stayed back and watched the celebration. You don't think these Bills have been waiting for this game the entire year? I know they played each other in the regular season, but that's not the same. They've built their team around beating the Chiefs. So I got the Bills winning this one. I think it's going to be a close game. It's kind of going to be a shootout, even with the Bills having a great defense. They just need to stop Mahomes for just a little bit to win. That's why I have them as number 4, because I feel like a couple other teams have a better chance to win. But I got the Bills. I think they're going to pull it off, and I think they're going to skyrocket themselves to the AFC Championship. Next on the list is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go ahead, give me the homer. Give me that, I know it's a hometown pick in terms of I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, and I'm picking the Bucs. And you know what? There's a lot of reasons to pick against the Bucs, but I don't care. You know what? I don't care. I'm going with them because I don't bet against Tom Brady. Simple as that. He's the more consistent quarterback. They're playing against the Rams, right? It's in Tampa, which is a huge deal. Matt Stafford has a tendency to throw the game away. He's inconsistent. Last week against the Cardinals, he played great. He didn't have one of those back-breaking turnovers, but the Bucs can cause those turnovers. You saw it in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. They can get pressure. Their guys are getting healthy, and this defense can fly around. So I think they can give some issues to that Rams team. And of course, the Rams have a great defense. They have a lot of weapons on the outside. But you know what? The Bucs defense is the key to the game, and I think they can stuff Stafford and cause a couple turnovers. I think the Bucs can really pull this off. I know that it's a tough matchup and they lost to the Rams earlier in the year, but this is a different Bucs team, maybe a little more beat up Bucs team. That matchup, Mike Evans versus Jalen Ramsey, that's one of the matchups of the game. And then of course, you got to make sure that the Bucs offensive line gets a little healthier, because they got to deal with Aaron Donald in the middle, and that could be a huge issue, especially when they're not 100%. But I think they have enough weapons to pull them through. I think they're going to pull off the victory, and just don't bet against Tom. Simple as that. Don't bet against Gronk. Gronk is going to go crazy. He's going to be spiking the ball. I mean, come on. You know what's going to happen. We're going to get at least one Gronk spike this weekend, and I got the Bucs winning this game against the Rams. Number 2 on my list, I got the San Francisco 49ers, okay? Last week, this was the only game that I got wrong. I picked the Cowboys to beat the Niners, and you know what? I looked like a clown. I'm going chalk. I'm going Cowboys. I think that this team is ready to make a run. I think that they could win the whole thing. I should have known as soon as the game started. When I saw that video of Deebo Samuel and that whole team coming out of the locker room, you had the guy carrying the boombox, and they were just, the team was oozing swagger. Simple as that. They were ready to go. You could see them. They weren't fazed by 90,000 Cowboy fans storming the field, storming into the place. No, They were ready to go. They were ready to play. And you know what? They're playing against the Green Bay Packers. They know this team very well. They played week 3 and they lost. But it was a very close game that went down to a last-second field goal. They've played the Packers in the playoffs before. They beat them in the NFC Championship 2 years ago to make it to the Super Bowl. That game was in Santa Clara, and this game is going to be at Lambeau. But you know what? He's lost in Lambeau too. And the key to the game is, can the Packers stop the run? It's as simple as that, because last time they played them in that NFC Championship, Raheem Mostert ran for 220 yards. Now, the 49ers aren't going to have Mostert. They're going to have Elijah Mitchell, and they're going to have Deebo Samuel. But you know Shanahan's scheming up some crazy run plays, and that's going to be a huge part of the game. And the defense for the 49ers is hot right now. They did a great job against Dak Prescott last week. Now they just got to do the same thing against Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers has had some duds in the playoffs. We've seen it before. We've seen him struggle. He struggled against the Bucs last year until the second half when he started pulling it off. And then he struggled against the 49ers multiple times. I mean, he's gone 0-3 versus the 49ers. That's insane. You would never think that, but you know what? That's the way it's been. I also feel very wary about the teams with bye week. I know that it's a privilege to get a bye week and you want to be the favorite. But a lot of times these teams lose steam when they're sitting at home drinking daiquiris and eating fajitas or whatever people do when they're on bye weeks. I don't really know, but that's kind of what I imagine when I think of NFL players having their bye week.
Let's take a daiquiri timeout.
Daiquiris.
That bye week seems to always hurt teams. It happens often, and I feel like you just kind of lose that momentum that you've kind of gained through the season. This 49ers team is kind of peaking at the right time, and Jimmy Garoppolo just has to do enough to not get in trouble. I think that's the biggest thing. As long as he's not the issue, he's not turning the ball over, they're going to be running the ball, and Packers have to be ready, because if they can't stop that, then this game's going to be over, and I think the 49ers are going to pull off the upset. And the number one team, the team that I think is the most likely to make it to the championship game, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I know Titans fans are going to be very angry at me. They're going to talk about all the disrespect I'm throwing at the Titans. I think a lot of people have them as kind of this team that nobody's really giving enough credit to. But you know what? There's kind of some reasons. I mean, they beat a lot of good teams, so I will give them credit. They beat the 49ers, they beat the Bills, they beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Rams. So that's 4 playoff teams that they've beat. But at the same time, they've lost to the Jets and the Texans, okay? That's inconsistency. Derrick Henry is coming back from the injury, and they've been able to run the ball without Derrick Henry. But at the same time, that is the strength of their team. The Titans are ranked 24th in the NFL in passing yards. 24th in the NFL. Just to give you a little more perspective on that, the Jets are ranked 20th. The Lions are ranked 18th. That's terrible. And that's why people are disrespecting the Titans. The defense is good. The running game's good. But if this team gets down early, then they're not looking great. And you know what team can get a huge lead and put a team in the ground? The Cincinnati Bengals, okay? I don't know if I ever thought I would say this about a Cincinnati Bengals team, but they ooze confidence, okay? Joe Burrow is that guy, swagger central. He's rocking the glasses in his interview, and they're asking, oh, was this some kind of message? No, he's just that cool. He's just that awesome. But you know what? If I outsmarted 2 criminals that were trying to rob my house as a kid, you know, I think I would have a little more confidence myself. That's not Joe Burrow, that's Macaulay Culkin, but you get the picture. They look almost the same, so I had to give it there. Also, when you look at the running backs in this game, obviously you have Derrick Henry coming back. You don't know what you're going to get from him, especially a guy that relies so much on his physicality. And then Joe Mixon's a beast still. Joe Mixon might be the better running back in this game just based on health, but both running backs are great. You have more weapons on the offense for the Bengals, so you got to give them the credit there. Titans defense is better than the Bengals defense. The Titans have to start early. They have to, play well, kind of like they did in that Rams game when they put Matthew Stafford in a bunch of bad places. They caused a lot of turnovers for the Rams and Stafford. That's how they won that game. They would have to do almost the exact same thing. They need to cause turnovers for the Bengals. So based on that, I have the Bengals as the number 1 team most likely to make it out of this divisional round and into the championship round. All right, so those are my picks. I got number 4, I got the Buffalo Bills. At number 3, most likely, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 2, I got the San Francisco 49ers. And the number 1 most likely team to make it to the next round, I got the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And let me know down below who you guys think are going to win these 4 games and what team is the most likely to make it to the next round. Peace.